Section 1. The pain of their absence, the beginning of awakening. There's a moment in life when you look around, and the silence feels heavier than any noise you've ever heard. They're gone. The person who once filled your world with meaning, who once made time feel alive, has vanished from your story. And in that silence, something inside you starts to die. Or maybe it starts to wake up. Most people believe that when someone leaves, the story ends. But in truth, that's where the real story begins. You see, the Stoics never promised you that people would stay. They never told you that love was meant to last forever, or that life would play fair. They told you to prepare your mind, to expect loss, to accept change, and to master the only thing that ever truly belongs to you, your inner world. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a privilege it is to be alive, to think, to enjoy, to love." Notice what he didn't say. He didn't say, "Think of what a privilege it is to be loved." He said, "To love." Because love is not something you receive. It's something you are. The pain you feel right now isn't proof of their importance. It's proof of your depth. It's evidence that you've loved in a world that teaches numbness. But pain isn't the enemy. Pain is the proof that you can still feel. And if you can still feel, you can still grow. What you must understand is this: their absence is not your punishment, it's your purification. You're not being destroyed, you're being stripped of illusion, of dependency, of weakness. The person who left was simply the instrument. The lesson was yours all along. When you stop fighting their absence and start facing your emptiness, you'll realize something profound. The void they left was never meant to be filled by another human being. It was meant to be filled by you. That's where your rebirth begins. Section 2. The power of detachment, reclaiming what was always yours. There comes a moment when grief turns into silence, and silence turns into understanding. It's the moment you finally stop asking why they left and start asking why you held on so tightly. Detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop bleeding for things beyond your control. The Stoics taught us this, that peace is not found in controlling the external, but in mastering the internal. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from events, but from our judgment about them." Think about that. It's not their leaving that breaks you. It's the story you tell yourself about what it means. It means I wasn't enough. It means I'll never find love again. It means I've lost my chance at happiness. None of that is true. It's your mind's way of seeking control where it has none. You can't control if someone stays. You can't control if they change. You can't control if they wake up one morning and no longer see in you what they once did. But what you can control, what you must control, is how you respond to it. Do you collapse into bitterness, or do you rise into awareness? Here's what most people never realize. Detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. It's knowing what's yours to carry and what's not. It's choosing to remain calm when your ego screams for chaos. It's realizing that peace is not the absence of emotion, it's the presence of power. When you detach, you stop needing people to validate your worth. You stop seeking closure from the same hands that broke. You stop giving your peace away to people who were never meant to protect it. This is where true strength begins, in the quiet decision to stop begging life to be easy and to start becoming strong enough to face it as it is. The Stoic warrior doesn't run from loss. He walks through it, not with anger, but with awareness. He doesn't say, "I don't care." He says, "I understand." And that's the difference between the broken and the reborn, because once you understand, the attachment fades. And when the attachment fades, freedom begins. They say if you love someone, set them free. But the real test is this: when you lose someone, can you set yourself free? That's what detachment is, not an escape from love, but an evolution beyond dependence. It's remembering that no one can leave you when you've already come home to yourself. Section 3. The return to power. turning pain into mastery at some point. You stop waiting for them to come back. You stop checking your phone. You stop replaying every word, every message, every memory, because something inside you finally whispers, enough. That's not weakness. That's the birth of power. See, life has this strange way of breaking you exactly where you need to. Grow. You thought love was about attachment. You thought connection meant control. You thought losing them meant losing yourself. But the universe, in its brutal wisdom, had other plans. The Stoics believed in amor fati, the love of fate, not tolerance of fate, not endurance of fate, but love for it. Because every event, no matter how painful, is precisely what you need to evolve. Your heartbreak isn't random, it's a forge, and you, whether you know it or not, are being shaped into something unbreakable. When Marcus Aurelius faced betrayal, war, death, and loneliness, he didn't curse the gods. He didn't ask, why me? He simply wrote, what stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, your obstacles are your path. The pain that once made you desperate now makes you disciplined. The silence that once made you restless now makes you wise. The emptiness that once consumed you now becomes the space for your rebirth. This is what it means to turn pain into power, not to escape it, but to transmute it, to use your wounds as wisdom, to use your heartbreak as fuel, to use your loneliness as focus. Most people drown in their emotions because they believe feeling deeply makes them weak. But the Stoic understands. Emotion itself isn't weakness. Attachment to emotion is. You can cry and still be strong. You can feel loss and still be powerful, because strength is not the absence of feeling. It's the ability to feel without falling apart. So when you start to feel that old ache again, don't run from it. Don't numb it with distractions, with noise, with other people. Sit with it. Watch it. Study it. Because in that pain lies a blueprint, a message, a lesson that says, you were never meant to need them. You were meant to remember who you were before them. That's the real return to power, when you no longer seek energy from the outside, but generate it from within. Section 4, the universal law of return. Why what's meant for you always finds. Here's the truth most people can't accept. You don't lose people. You outgrow them. You don't get abandoned. You get redirected. And when something leaves your life, it's not rejection, it's alignment. Life is always removing what no longer serves your highest path, even when your ego calls it heartbreak. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They believed that everything in existence happens according to nature, according to reason, order, and divine intelligence. Marcus Aurelius wrote, whatever happens to you has been waiting to happen since the beginning of time. Think about that. Even the loss that shattered you was written long before you were born. So when you cling to what's gone, you're not fighting a person, you're fighting the rhythm of the universe itself. You're resisting what was always meant to change you. You may think you're waiting for them to come back, but what you're really waiting for is the version of yourself that existed before they left, and that version is gone for good. This is why the spiritually aware often feel isolated, because when you awaken, the universe begins to separate you from what's small, what's toxic, what's distracting, and in that process, it looks like you're losing, but you're actually gaining. You're not being punished, you're being purified. Understand this, nothing meant for you will ever require you to chase it, beg for it, or lose yourself trying to keep it. That which is aligned with your spirit will move effortlessly toward you when you are ready, not when you want it, but when you match it. This is the law of return. It's not about waiting, it's about becoming. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. So if you spend your energy grieving what's gone, you keep yourself anchored to the past. But if you shift your focus inward, if you start healing, growing and refining your character, you change your frequency, and when your frequency changes, the world around you rearranges. That's when the magic happens. Sometimes the person comes back, but by then, You've changed so deeply that you no longer need them to. You've already found what you were looking for, yourself. So stop asking, will they come back? Ask instead, will I be ready when life brings me what's truly mine? Because it will always. Section 5, the final lesson. When you let go, everything returns in a higher form. Let's end with the hardest truth of all. Letting go is not about losing. It's about trusting that what's gone was never meant to stay, trusting that what's meant to stay will never leave, and trusting that even in your deepest pain, something sacred is being rebuilt within you. When you finally stop chasing, begging, and replaying, you create space for grace. You make room for clarity. You allow the universe to move things in your favor without your interference. Most people can't do this because they confuse control with care. They believe that holding tighter means loving deeper, but the Stoics understood that real strength is in release, real power is in surrender, because only when your hands are empty can life place something better within them. Seneca once said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than necessary." And that's what worry does. It makes you live your loss twice, once in your mind and once in reality. You replay the memory, the conversation, the betrayal. And every time you do, you tear open a wound that was trying to close. But healing doesn't happen by obsessing over what was said, or why they left, or what you could have done. Healing happens when you stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" Because everything, every heartbreak, every silence, every goodbye is preparing you for your next evolution, your next level, your next form. And when you stop fighting that process, when you finally say, "I trust," you step into a peace that no one can disturb. The truth is, those who left may never return, but something greater always does, a deeper peace, stronger self, a quieter mind. You stop searching for closure from others because you've already closed the chapter within you. Stop waiting for apologies because your self-respect no longer needs them. You stop needing them to return because you've finally returned to yourself. That's the paradox of life. When you stop needing, you start receiving. When you let go, everything that's meant for you begins to find you, not in the same form, not through the same people, but in a way that's higher, cleaner and truer to who you've become. So don't wait for them, don't chase them, don't wonder if they'll ever realize what they lost. Just keep walking, keep growing, keep trusting that what's ahead is far greater than what's behind, because it always is. Final message to the viewers. If this message reached you when you needed it most, then it was meant for you. Like the video to help it reach someone else who needs it. Comment below with your own original motivational quote. Something born from your experience, your pain, and your wisdom. And turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video, because the Stoic path isn't about escaping pain. It's about transforming it into power. Welcome to Stoic Life. This is where strength is reborn.